Hey everybody, just doing another quick review on my NC Tool Whisper Momma with a backdoor propane forge. If you saw the video about the anvil, I got these both at the same time. So I've used it maybe an hour and a half total. So I don't have a lot of time into it as far as using goes. But I just wanted to share my thoughts about this with y'all. I should have done a video unpacking it and assembling it, but I didn't, obviously. So real quick, I'll just touch on that. Basically, the forge comes completely assembled. The handle is included in the box, and you can put it on either side of the door. They just weld a big nut to the door, and like I said, you can fit it on either side. You have to put in the two burners, which is no big deal. They supply all the nuts, bolts. You get a little bag of hardware to assemble everything. And everything is actually pretty good. I can't complain about any of that. As far as packaging goes, it was really well packaged. And there was one damaged part. I'll get to that in a few minutes. It comes with the spark igniter, which works really good. Comes with the on and off ball valve. Comes with the cable, the hose. It comes with a regulator and with a gauge. Now, when I opened the package, the box that the gauge was in was undamaged. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but the lens is cracked on the gauge. It still works properly, so that's no big issue. I don't really care. The fittings, you need to put them into the regulator, and they actually supply the Teflon tape to do that. So other than a tank of propane, they give you everything you need to get it up and running. There's a label up here that gives you some info on the forge itself, and this is a little dusty because I do all kinds of stuff in my shop. And that's still securely attached, and I've done some forge welding through this, and yeah, it definitely will forge weld. There was another sticker, I believe it was right here, yeah, and it said make sure door is open before lighting, and that's just to avoid propane buildup inside of the forge itself. That fell off the first time I used it, but if you have any kind of a memory, it won't be a problem. So, the door is extremely well insulated, and the insulation or lining on the inside, I have zero complaints about as well. It seems very nice. I like the ledge here. I do hot shoeing. So having the ledge here is cool because when you drop a shoe in here, you're not trying to fight with it to catch it off of the bottom of a flat surface. You can lift it up a little bit. The paint is holding up pretty much everywhere except for where the fire is, of course. I'm not sure what kind of paint they use, but on the rest of the forge, it's pretty durable, and I wish I had better lighting, except for the back door, and that gets really hot, so you really can't complain about that. I mean, I'm not sure that they make a paint that's going to stay on something like that. But it's all bolted together, so relining should be pretty easy when that day comes. I have it set up on a stand in my shop because I do a lot of other stuff. I make knives and so on. But because of the hole in the door, you get a lot of heat that comes down in this direction. So I don't recommend putting this on something that's flammable. I will go ahead and fire it up. And open the door, of course. I've got one hand. It usually fires up the first try every time. And you can see it burns nice blue. Like I said, I forge welded with it, so it definitely has the ability. I'm going to throw a horseshoe in there so you all have an idea how long it takes to get a horseshoe up to workable temperatures, if you're a hot shoer, that is. So let me grab one real quick. And the paint is actually shinier on the sides than it appears in the video. I see a lot of reflection from the light, which makes it look like it might be burned, but it really isn't. It's still clean and shiny. And other than the back door, like I said, it's clean and shiny back here as well. So overall, I give the finish a 10. Trying to kill a little time while that shoe's heating up. The hinges up top are welded to the forge itself into the door and then pinned with a piece of round stock. They've drilled holes through that and put cotter pins in it, so removing the door shouldn't be an issue at all. Like the fact that the burners are actually designed for a forge. They're not just a piece of steel tubing. Let's take a look at the progress. You can see the center of the shoe is warming up. And it hasn't been in there that long, and I have had several shoes in there at one time. And as long as you don't overlap them too badly, they heat up pretty evenly. I have a digital thermometer here that I can show you the temps if it'll show up on the camera. This is pretty accurate. This was pretty expensive. It only goes up to 700 degrees, so that's why it's showing the lines there. And that's the back door, of course. Just on the edge of this piece of tile, but I had it set back further earlier, and the temperatures were well over 250 degrees. So you can see the door stays pretty cool actually, and when I'm running this thing around shoeing, I have it in a trailer, so I don't want the surrounding area where it's located in the trailer to become ridiculously hot and cause issues. So I must say that I'm actually really happy with the installation of this forge. Okay, you can see now that that shoe is plenty hot enough to work, do whatever you want with it. And again, I apologize for not having timer set up so that I could, keep an idea of how long it took. But, and this is what I was saying about that raised portion there. You can grab a hold of that shoe pretty easy when it's in there, as well as other materials too. But overall, I have no complaints with the forge, and I would definitely buy one again. The firebox is kind of small. I probably should have measured it before I fired it up. But I'm a risky guy. We're going to check it out. It's about 6 inches deep, about a foot long, And to the ridge, it's about 2 3/4, not quite 2.5. So it's probably 2 3/4, maybe almost 3 inches inside the box itself. So I've had several, like I said, several shoes in here. I didn't have any issues, and it heated them up pretty evenly and pretty well. So just a quick review, and I guess that's about it. Any questions, comments, post them up and I'll answer them if I can. Take care, y'all.